All right. Good morning, Philippines. Welcome to our live once again. Happy weekend to everybody. And yes, we are here for another amazing episode for all of us to enjoy here. As you can see right away, we have our lovely guest, Miss Gurley, because she's one of like the best and most excellent accounting VAs or accountant VAs that we got to have, to join our show today. But yeah, before we roll, continuing with our topic, our amazing, say, insights and whatnot, I'm an accountant, what am I going to do in the VA world? There are no papers there. What would I do? Where would I put the numbers? Can I actually even be a VA? Can I really work from home as an accountant? Yeah, even as a bookkeeper, later on, we're going to have the down low on everything, the juicy info that you might want to know, because you might just be the next person right down the corner that you would be like, I want to work at home. I want to spend more time with my family and ultimately, just enjoy things per se. So, yeah, just a quick recap of things as well. Last time, if you check there, I don't know, left side, right side, if you haven't went to Go Super VA yet, our YouTube channel, it's going to be talking about all the good stuff regarding the virtual world, for virtual assistants specifically. And last week's episode is about actually social media managers. So if you're like an aspiring social media manager, maybe you're really into arts, right? Or you are like you're a graphic designer. You're great with doing graphics online and whatnot. You love social media. Better check that episode out. But yesterday, once again, good morning, people. Good morning, Miss Gurley, and good morning, Miss Rachel. Hello. Greet the people in the Philippines.
Good morning! Happy weekend, everyone! I'm here again to join Jack for this wonderful episode. I think this would be the last run of this series because we already have executive assistants, then social media managers last week. Then finally, this week would be the numbers people, the accountants and the bookkeepers. Of course, I really love actually this segment because it's very specified to different roles that we have as virtual assistants. And of course, we have here our guest, Miss Girly. Miss Girly, good morning.
Hello everyone. Good morning. So yeah, I'm so excited to be here and yeah, thank you for having me. so I'm just happy to just share of what's in my what's in what I have able to share with you. So yeah, good morning everyone.
Yep, there we go. Yes, most definitely. Thank you very much, Miss Gurley, for being here. Greatly appreciate it because ultimately, what the things that are gonna be discussed here is gonna be really helpful, right? Because a lot of people out there, just just the thought alone. I remembered some memes on Facebook right away. Just the thought alone of say, what do you call this? Rush hour, right? Rush hour, long lines for the train, long lines for the bus, and whatnot, right? You just want to work at home. That's it, right? And some people might think, well, like specifically for today, I'm an accountant. There is no way that I can work from home. Why? Because I need to do all these papers every day, all these numbers, right? But yeah, guys, the world is very different nowadays. And definitely, even if you're an accountant, you are some financial analyst, or you're anything in the financial world, or even just a bookkeeper, right? You can definitely work from home. And one good news with that is you can have international clients. And that's something amazing because without even saying much about it, comparing a local job's norm, right, traffic and everything, and probably the pay too, comparing it to working online, it's just like a whole new world with a plethora of goodies, a plethora of blessing, things you can enjoy per se. So yeah, guys, Miss Girly will be, enlightening us with say, like how is life daily on her side? How are things going on her side? How is her journey and all these things? So you guys will get the down low, right? Like, okay, now I know I can go to the virtual world too. Like, thanks, Miss Girly, like that. Okay, there we go. So yes, Miss Rach, anything else you would want to add at the start of our amazing episode today?
I'm very excited to have Girly here because Girly is one of my favorite persons in the team. My secret is my favorites are from accounting. So my favorite people are from accounting. So, guys, you're my most favorite department. So that's why I'm very excited because well, eventually, as a non-number person, it's not that I hate numbers. It's just that I don't feel like we match. I match with numbers, so I'm very excited to learn or to hear what Girly does on a daily basis as an accounting VA. So, Girly, if please uh introduce yourself and let us know what's your daily things or daily tasks that you do as a virtual assistant in accounting.
Oh yeah, so hello again, everyone. So I am Girly. Um, I am the payroll accountant of Boss. So on a daily basis, I would say it would be really different when I have already in this virtual world. Before in the corporate world, in doing accounting task, we are. I could remember that in my table, I have this bunch of papers that is printed out and attach receipts, attach some approvals, or other invoices that could support those transactions. And then on a daily basis also you need to check and need to sign it like physically. Unlike when you are in the virtual world, you could just do click and you can approve it like that. So it's really life changing being an accountant in the virtual world, since in your table it would be paperless. It would just like you would take I would just take notebook, my pen, and some water in my table.
Yeah, maybe some
Unli-
snacks too.
yeah. Yeah, my table is now super clean. Unlike when you were in the uh like in the corporate world, you have this a lot of folders behind you to sort out things or documents that is the supporting for their like requests for like payments, or if we have invoices also, so we have to really make sure that those invoices are properly clipped on that folder, something like that. So when you were in the virtual world already, there's a lot of tools that would really help you, that you would make everything on your laptop, and yeah, everything is just paperless. And yeah, it's just so so different. And yeah, it would be also a lot of change, but yeah, it's still serving your client online and you can do the job. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. You know, I like that she mentioned already the difference between the virtual accounting and at the same time the traditional accounting because it's it's di- it's actually difficult, to do things that you did traditionally, and then you have to do it now virtually, especially for the softwares, I believe, so yeah, that's totally a good insight. Because if at least for me, I'm a social media manager. When social media happened, I already know it. I'm already here. We're already using social media as it is. Unlike that the change from the papers, diba, to paperless accounting. That's amazing.
Yep, definitely. It just reminds me of a lot of things as well when I what you call this, like transitioned, to the VA world. Like you are just so used to doing a lot of things traditionally, right? Like maybe like just even holding a notebook, holding your pen, having say physical documents in front of you, right? But then all of a sudden you start the virtual world. Where are my files? Where are my files? You're searching the folders. It's also inside, right? And like what Miss Rachel mentioned there, that you have like all these different softwares that you're gonna try, because yeah, we are so advanced nowadays. It's like you can say maybe like there is just an app for just about everything, and it's not surprising that yeah, even for accounting stuff, there are. Yeah, so like I was even picturing earlier, like maybe there were like some staplers there on the table, right? Maybe the what they call this,
Yeah.
the seal, right, for the
The very
numbers.
basic staplers, folders.
Yeah, yeah. All of these things, and your pen holder there on the side, maybe some sharpener for your pencil, a lot of things. And pretty much here you have your laptop, you have your coffee, you have your snacks. I don't know, maybe more food than more food than your quote unquote your old tools, right? So yeah, being in the virtual world is really very very different, but at the same time a ton more rewarding for various reasons, right? Because you might, once again, you might just be somebody wanting to go like, I just want to work at home. I want to be with my family more. Spend time with family. Like, or maybe I have my baby and I do not want to leave my baby. Right? I want to be with my baby all the time. And yes, as a virtual assistant, even as an accountant, you may, right? Okay, you're working there, but at least your baby can just be beside you. Right? Isn't that amazing, right? Just being in the virtual world, you have these big perks that basically, yeah, traditionally you cannot, right? Instead of your baby beside you, it's gonna be your folders, your file cabinet, and whatnot, right? So yes, oh gosh, I just have like a lot of flashbacks with the things that has been shared so far. Nevertheless, we're gonna be learning, and we're gonna go a bit more in depth, of course, with what our guest, Miss Gurley, is gonna be sharing about with us today. So, Miss Gurley, what would you say, being starting out from the corporate world, like how long were you working, like, in the accounting field in the corporate world, and what made you decide, like, I want to transition, right? I want to transition to the virtual world. I don't know it, I'm not sure, but I want to try. Yeah, so yeah, what are your thoughts about that, Miss Gurley?
Yeah. So, um, I have started working corporate way back 2017. So,
Oh.
yeah, the the things that we have been doing in the corporate world were, um yeah, we have that so different from the virtual world, aside from having uh paperworks, a lot of paperworks, and having the documents signed. Then you like really have to like transport those papers to the tables of your manager for him or her to sign. Then you would also like you have to wait, or like he would call you if it is all done. Then you would just get those papers, a bulk of papers again. Then you have to sort it out and fill those cabinets on your side. So yeah, that is been I could remember in my corporate world. And yeah, so since like almost so 2017, all right, more than 5 years already, or 6 years more than. So um That's my I could like sum up with my uh job in a corporate. And yeah, and also yeah, in the physical world, like you have to be in the office. And yeah, in accounting, it's not it cannot be like, sometimes you have to check with the deadlines, or you have to really stick with the deadlines when you have to uh submit reports. So I could also remember having an overtime in the office. So when you were going back home, there's some risk of yeah, going back, because you have to travel, since we do not have our private we have do not have private cars, so we have to commute. So it having an overtime, like kind of risky. So you have to go back home, as they contact first your family that you've been traveling home right now. So someone would wait for you outside, that you have to you're going back home. And yeah, so like, if you would compare when you're already in the virtual world, you would see that right away, if in you're at home, you could just like log in, and then straight from your room you could start uh doing your work. And even if you're also like have to extend time to really meet the deadline, so there's no like, you will be confident enough, you're still safe because you're still at home. And yeah, and also now that I am a mom, so it really pushed me also to really do the uh virtual world of accounting, because yeah, I really wanted to have more time with my son. So he's 2 years old right now, so he's more bit of a clingy baby. So I really uh or that also pushed me to really try working at home, since you would just have your table, and then you will just also be there already right by your son, or she needs to like cuddle you, like insert cuddle when you're when you're working. So you can do that when you're um doing virtual, yeah, virtual work. So yeah, that also like really somehow inspired me to do virtual accounting. So like the main purpose is having more time with my family, and just being there, readily available for them if you what they wanted to they want, or if my son really wanted to play with me. But in certain times, there still you still have to uh uh limit that. If you're working, you have to focus, because you're handling numbers. So yeah, you don't that the
Your attention.
yeah,
Yeah.
you really have to make sure that everything is accurate.
No extra
And
zeros at the end, right?
that point something, you need to find out where did it come, or where did it go. So so you still have to make sure that you are doing things accurately, although your son is also like wanted to play with you. Like suddenly you would just go and have this what to cuddle, or like wanted to stay with in your lap. So like that's I could say with having like doing virtual virtual accounting. So yeah, that's also what I like, that I could really uh like being safe at home, and then you could also work. And after work, you could also directly go have time with your like, especially with my son. So yeah, that's for me.
I agree. I love that you mentioned that sometimes you have to really like, you have to go, what you call this? You have to work overtime, right? But then you will miss, for example, the MRT. You will miss the last bus ride, or it's too dangerous already to go commute, or it's too expensive to book a hailing taxi or car. So I totally love that you mentioned that, because sometimes, especially for accounting, if there is a deadline, especially if it's salary, you
Yeah.
have to finish that, correct? And
Really. Yeah, that's
in those
correct.
moments, you have to think about it. What is more important, the salary of, of 100 people, 1,000 people, or your safety when you're going home, right? So, but at least right now, even if it's 1,000, girly, you can go overtime. No, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, without even thinking of your safety. I love that.
Yeah, that actually reminded me too when Miss Gurley mentioned it. The overtime, right, in the office, traditional way, right? You go to the office, you finish your day there, have your coffee, whatever, and then you're going home. But then you have critical things to finish, and maybe within the day. So now you don't have any option but to bring the files with you, right? And now what if
Yeah.
it's raining, right? My gosh, Miss Gurley with a big smile there.
And but not every company will like approve you to bring the documents to your house, because it's also
Mm-mm.
risky for them.
Mhm.
Not just for the person, but also for the company itself. So I'm not sure if it's also another option. I think that's a good option as well, right?
Yeah, it's all confidential files. Like so not all not that it's not. I just seldom tried to bring some papers at home to process, but yeah, they strictly do not allow to really bring those files at home.
Yeah, definitely. A
Love
lot of
that.
stuff are there. Yeah, love it, love it. A lot of stuff are there, and yeah, you just get used to it, right? Like traditionally, how to put it, like the norms of work per se, quote unquote, like what industrial age kind of norms, right? Times of our parents. But then comes the virtual world now. Shifting things, and definitely to adjust, right? To adjust to that, especially if you would be somebody that's like, hmm, okay, I would want to work at home because maybe for my family, right? Maybe just, I have a newborn baby. I would want to spend more time with
Yeah.
them. So yeah, like, see, I tell you guys, Miss Gurley is, what they call this. She might look shy, but she's not actually very shy. But we're hearing a lot of great things from Miss Gurley here, right? Miss Rachel clapping there.
Yeah. Actually, girly, while we're doing this, some some people are like messaging me, wow, girly is on live, how did you manage to ask her, how did you manage to make her say yes? And we were like, we don't know as well. And you're already discussing everything. I was like, what, she's shy? At that stage, she's shy. Love that. So, and by the way, all your accounting team members are here. April, Jennifer, who else? Oh, they are here. Hi, 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 everyone. And Jennifer said it's a no, actually. You see, she almost cried. Well, she's no longer crying. That's for sure.
Tears of joy now, tears of joy.
Here's a joy. Oh my god. Oh, I love what Jennifer said here. In VA world, I almost forgot what's my signature now. Yeah, because you
So
don't remember.
true.
Ah, yeah, I remember. I just realized this right now. So, right, since you're no longer doing papers, like the actual papers, how do you make sure to, how do you approve things? For example, if you're, do you still have checks? Do you still have to sign papers? How did it change from those kind of traditional paperworks to the accounting or the virtual accounting side?
Yeah, so with the help also with our accounting softwares, so they will just like you have to click just this button, so it would just appear now on the side of the request store that it is approved. So yeah, that's the biggest difference. So you just click this one, then it will be tagged as approved, or you just have to yeah, basically you just click and then yeah,
Like,
that would that would entail that it was approved. But then yeah, you will there's still if there is in the team, still have this one double checking. So the software will just give you
yeah, I love
audit
that.
logs. It will show you who are the persons who approves. So so your click you should be very careful of clicking the approve, because once it is tag as approved, so it will show also to the user that it was approved. And yeah, it will be traced if when did you approve and what date. So it would really show details. So that would be the difference of approving documents in the now in yeah in the softwares that we are using. So yeah.
Wow, I love that. But before I respond to that, hi boss. She said here, you rock, girly. You see, Boss Phyllis was able to comment here because of girly, the power of girly. I
Power.
Hi
love it.
boss, this is for you.
I love that. But yeah, speaking, going back to the errors, and everything, it's good that that the margin of error may be decreased. How about, like, for example, I remembered my mom because my mom is also doing accounting. She has this, stories that she almost released like millions instead of hundred thousands or something like that. Do you still have those kind of errors still, in spite of having those, like for example, the softwares that checks or reviews the numbers that, or the things, or the list, or the details that you have?
um yeah, I could still see that softwares are not 100% accurate.
Mm.
Or yeah, there are, or in you, and also as a human, um there are things that you might miss out, but you still have that um counter checking also. Aside that you are using the software, you also have another backup of list that
Mm.
this should be the total, and also you will check with the software, this should be also the total. So somehow it will give you a confidence that it is already what is showing in the software is correct. And as well as you do the counter checking, like you're having spreadsheets with formulas that would help you to you would verify that you're doing things correctly and accurately. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, at least we know now it's always 100%, even if it's with software, so still extra careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, as they always say, right? Safety first, that always. It kind of reminded me of the AI thing as well, right? Even though we have all these amazing tools nowadays out there, never ever just input it there and then just like what Miss Gurley was saying earlier, just click, 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 right? Double check at the very least, especially if you are in the accounting field, right? So yeah, for the others there, the accountants, the bookkeepers, people in the financial field, right? When you go into the virtual world, yes, it's like way more amazing, less clutter per se in front of you, but at the same time, you're going to be having these tools which, quote unquote, automate a lot of things, make things a lot more speedier, but still you have to have that focus and keen eye of yours, right? Especially with the numbers. I mean, like, you don't want to end up having like an extra zero on supposedly something, with a specific amount only. Oh yes. Having that said, right, with the experience of Miss Gurley, would there be anything else, Miss Rachel, that you would want to add on that part?
I think not exactly anymore for the errors, because I already understand that, yeah, even if it's already virtual and all, there's still very lower percent of error that could happen. So,
Yeah. All right. There we go. There we go. And of course, Miss Gurley, Actually, I was having this in my mind earlier, right? So now we got to hear, like, how, you know how you transitioned, right, to the virtual world. How was your norms earlier, traditionally back in the corporate world for like 5 plus years, which even reminded me of like big, humongous printers there in the office that you would walk to, right, and maybe scan the documents and everything like that. It is very different in the virtual world. And now basically it's like being as a person who transitioned, right, from traditional job as an accountant, corporate world to the virtual world. What do you think could be like, interesting, say, or not interesting, but like, at least a minimum kind of like requirement when it comes to soft skills, right? Because now you're transitioning, and maybe some of the skills you have before might not be needed that much, right? Because quote unquote, it's just for the workplace. Now this is different, it's virtual.
I love
Or
that.
maybe there might be other skills that you must learn because you never learned it from the corporate world, right? So when it comes to the soft skills, Miss Gurley, what do you think could be, say, people would need, or accountants, aspiring VAs to be, what might they need, for their soft skills?
Yeah, so with that soft skills, there are certain companies, like example, if you would start to join with, um you have also to check what are the base, like the popular softwares that is being used by your client. But um I would also say that you must also be flexible, because not all of those companies that you join with are also using this kind of softwares like QuickBooks, Zero. So still I could say that the softwares that is being used in accounting are also not always friendly, but you still have to have the challenge to learn how to navigate, how to um, process accounting task with that software. So you have also that, you still have also to, like, do research on how to use these softwares, especially not all of your clients also would have that much time to train you. So you should be prepared first in, or have an idea, or nowadays also there are um ways for you or like also there videos that would help you to do or use this software, and also have this um like somehow same in actual practice of using that kind of accounting software. So um basically I have this limited when I joined the virtual world, I have this limited all these softwares that I know. But I have that in my mind that if ever it's different or new software to me, like for example have stuff that we are being using, like it's doing invoicing, it's doing the timesheet. So I'd never been used to work with Hub stuff before, like that software. So like you also have to do research, and also by the time you already have it, you have to explore also how it should be used, and how the team is processing the accounting task with that software. So yeah, you should have to be like in my in my opinion, you should be flexible and also be resourceful of how to use those softwares, because not it's not always that the client would give everything or train you that long. So you should be flexible enough also. So yeah, that's from me.
Yeah, totally, for sure. You really need to be flexible, especially I think there are like a lot of softwares already, right, for accounting stuff. Like we mentioned, invoicing. We have a lot of softwares for invoicing. So if you don't know how to navigate like the basic ones, it would be difficult for you to navigate every software. What if you have, let's just say, what if you are from a client that's using this, this software, and then you were hired for another client, and they're using another, software as well. So it would be difficult if you don't know how to be flexible enough, if you don't know how to adapt to changes in terms of software. So yeah, love that.
I would also add that also as an account, yeah, if you have applied as an accountant or being bookkeeper, so you really have also have that basic accounting knowledge, or even you have to master it already, because um those softwares also, like if they were being built in what in my mind, if they were those softwares are being built based also what is in the theory, or is what is being the practice in the traditional
Account.
world, so they just convert it into paperless and much more easier and more convenient, especially now if you're doing accounting task for an international client. So they I think somehow it is the difference, but you still have that the basic accounting, especially the working an accountant, or working being as an accountant. um it should be the minimum requirement that you know how to do accounting. Although um you don't have that really much of experience of in certain software, so basically you have to have that accounting background.
Yeah, exactly. Miss Mo mentioned here, girly, that as accountant you also have to be, wait, you should know, or you should need to know how to communicate as well. Well,
Oh,
girly
Yes,
that's great.
knows how to communicate.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
evident.
just email us. Just email accounting.
Yeah, she also mentioned, Grace mentioned, be prepared always, of course, especially if the reports are needed. Then, problem solving skills. You agree? Agree with the problem solving?
Yes, yes, very very true, especially I could see that in the accounting it's also more of like troubleshooting, um no, troubleshooting, or like resolving questions from the clients about their billing, and also like for the VAs that we handle payroll, why is it I only received this amount, or why is it is not approved, something like that. So you really have to have that problem solving skills, because it's also part of the accounting to give them the answers of this uh, how this amount or how this amount being computed, or like you have to present to them, it should that the billing is uh like the amount of the billing amounted this certain amount. So yeah, you have to really have that skill to cater those problems.
Yeah, I love that. Sorry for bringing up my mom again. But my mom mentioned it's not really about math or numbers. It's more on like analyzing the problem itself, so that you can resolve the concern or the issue. So I can totally relate with that, really. So it's not just about adding, subtracting, it's about helping
Yeah.
clients. Why is my VA's pay like this? Why is my credit card not working? You have to resolve it with them for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It might be like say straight as an arrow kind of process, right? Okay, you gotta have these skills. You got to have the background, of course, right? Like this is what you say took up in college, you took up in uni, and definitely, when you go to a job, it's yeah, you have to do a lot of critical thinking. That's it, right? A lot of mathematics, and basically you are analyzing things not just by the numbers, but ultimately, like what Miss Mo mentioned in our what do you call this, in our chat here, what do you call this, common sense, right? Who to pay and not to pay, right? You got the numbers correct.
Yeah.
Correct, right. And then you sent it to the wrong person. Oh my, I don't know, refund or something. What is this? Right? You have to really, you from start to end, really as an accountant, right? You have to check everything. Part of that is like learning your tools, double checking if needed be, and ultimately try to adapt, like what, or try to be flexible, like what Miss Gurley mentioned there, that you gotta know the tools that you are using, right? You gotta make sure before you give that signature, before you hit that send button, and ultimately everything should be like all clear on the deadline, because mostly, yeah, you're going to be dealing about money. So yeah, everything has got to be there. Miss Gurley, actually, have you ever had like an experience, maybe not on your side, right, like a story you've heard, like some money or some pay actually got sent the wrong way? Was there anything that you have heard before or experienced, maybe?
Um. Uh. With that, I could
Girly can't
remember.
relate. She's perfect.
Yeah.
For
She's
now, yeah,
A.
we didn't have that kind of like we have paid the wrong person, or like this amount, because it is written in the software, and yeah, we have double checked it. um if I have heard on the other, like from a friend, that she received a a pay that she should not. But I know that,
Oh,
but my friend, like, she already immediately contacted the company, and yeah, returned the money.
um,
So yeah, she deposited back again. So
refunded the money. Boss, if you're listening,
yeah.
this is not in the company, okay? This is from a friend. This is a story
Yes,
of a
boss, it's
friend.
not in us. uh so far, we really paid the right person. Yeah.
Yay, go accounting team. You see, they're my favorite team. Sorry. But I'm also actually curious because you mentioned earlier like all the differences when when you're doing the corporate job and at the same time the virtual work, and it's mostly of course positively better when you're working virtual. But my question is, how about during in this virtual work as a virtual accountant or virtual accounting person, are there any challenges that you've met that you never did when you're doing traditional accounting, the paperworks? Are there like obstacles, issues that you just realize or you just experienced here but not during when you're doing the papers in the corporate world?
um I could share, in the, like, especially if you have to straightly use English in the email. Sometimes it's challenging to explain the um
Love that.
like or like use the correct grammar, and explain in like a chronological manner, the 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 level, the billing, it should be this amount. Somehow, I find it challenging to communicate to the client how it should be computed, and how it is, how that amount arrived to that total. um yeah, but now with the help also of AI, somehow, um it helps to organize your ideas, and to communicate to the client how that billing got that amount. So in my in my experience, it is the challenging part to explain, like like now we are using English. So we should use English to to communicate the information. So that's in my challenge I have experienced, but somehow it's uh is like fulfilling to have that uh email response of the client that, okay, it makes sense, okay, I understand now, thank you so much for
Yeah.
explanations. So when I have that when we have that reply in our inbox, so like, oh, thank you, Lord, like something something like that. Oh, oh, thank
What
you,
a
Lord, like
relief.
the client understand, okay.
I
Because
love that.
because when you're not traditional, like in the corporate, you just could go, or like you could also use Tagalog, like yeah, if
Yeah.
or
You
in
can just
Mindanao.
char. Yeah, you can just char the person if it's Filipino. But if it's an American client, oh my gosh, how to discuss it with them?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So somehow is like the challenging part for me to um how to communicate with the client of how the computation went. You have to, oh, like also considering the cutoffs, and so it should not be included, this number of days should not be, or something like that. So but somehow also it's also like bringing your like your or like how to serve your client well. So it will like nurture you to you would like, I could also share that well, now handling international clients compared to you were working with local companies here in the Philippines. Somehow you would also see, or you could see the trend how how these international clients are, like how they react, their
Yeah.
attitude. So somehow you would learn those experiences, that having that international client, that somehow they are, some of them are, they like especially with explanation, they like um
Summarize. Yeah. And it's
summarize
straightforward.
explanation, straight, yeah, straight to the point. So yeah, so just say that, and no more, not much more of the flowery part, but just to make them or communicate that the competition should be like this. So then that the client will just basically be happy to just see that it's straight to the point, and it's a summarized form.
Yeah, I love that. Abby mentioned here, I think she's mentioning about, communicating with clients, like how should be
Mm.
categorized and how it should be treated. It's a struggle to explain in a right way that they can understand the numbers. Yeah, oh my gosh, I love this because sometimes it's not just the English, that is difficult, but also how to like explain, the numbers, how did it come up, what's the addition, what's the subtraction, and then it's in English. Ay, my gosh. Difficult.
And also, I've heard some of my teammates like having like reconciliation of credit cards. So like some share some struggle in dealing with international clients. In credit cards, like they like she experienced that when they have, when this receipt was uh when she received this receipt, there's a struggle that it's already she's have that hard time to guess if, or to know if where did that expense, or like she searched the name of the store, and you would, and then she would know that it's already a gasoline station pala.
Oh.
Or what's this place in the invoice? So um you would check if it's a convenience store pala in their place.
in their
Somehow.
place.
So some challenges like that. And also I also heard some of um friends that sometimes some of their clients um take time to respond, especially when they having the reconciliation of credit cards. Then getting, or they would ask, where did you spend this or like where did you spend in during these days, during this time. Then it would take time for the client to reply somehow. um it would make the reconciliation on their credit cards on their side to somehow take time. But if you would, and also if you're new also in doing that reconciliation, but if you are used to it, or the transactions are recurring already, so you would already know how to identify those expenses, that
Yeah.
it is from the gasoline station, something like that. And also like for the a flight, or like a travel expense. So um somehow at first you would encounter those kind of challenges.
Yeah, I
So yeah.
agree. Because when you're already familiar with the names, with the companies, it's easier for you already, instead of looking it up every time because it's not familiar for you, right? So, Jack, I think
Yeah,
you have a question to ask.
yeah. Actually, I just recalled earlier, like with what do you call this, the story of Miss Girly, or rather, it's not just one story, but like the experiences that she has been sharing. One thing came to mind right away for me. Like ethical considerations, right? Because basically, when we are working in the corporate world, okay, we have our norms there, we have our policies, we have our, like SOPs and all these things. And basically, that would determine like how we would say, quote unquote, act, right? How we would say do things in a specific manner. But now, since we are in the virtual world, it would also be somewhat similar, but definitely could be very different, right? So when it comes to these, what do you call it, ethical considerations, right, for virtual accountants, such as data security, confidentiality, because now it's online. You're sharing, people can view this. You share a document like this and that, right? And maintaining professional boundaries at the same time, because once again, you're connected, right, in the virtual environment, right? When it comes to these ethical considerations, Miss Gurley, like, what do you think? Like, what's the difference from back then to now, right? Like, how is the norm for you? Or is it actually way better in the virtual world versus back then traditionally?
I could think of um example, we mostly do response to emails, to the client's email. So or like for example our VAs asking about their pay. um Sometimes not all of them like being polite in checking and verifying things with us. But with us, we just have that or we would just maintain that professionalism in replying to their concerns. Although you're just you feel like, oh, like, oh, why is that why is that just doing that way of approaching to us? Um but you will still have to be calm and be professional in still answering and to cater the concern. So um yeah, you have to be some professional in, yeah, dealing with those concerns. Although sometimes there are ways that saying not good, or sometimes they say um they like yeah, but I could say that some of them were not like polite enough to to say things. But just we were still calm and um still uh
Collective.
Mhm.
yeah, we will still find way to really uh help them to understand and resolve what is their question. And also with the client side, we would also yeah, stay professional in replying those concerns that they have or questions that they have. And yeah, and also like although your boss is not there to really check what you're doing, so you have to keep that integrity, that you have to keep things confidential. So because like if you're not that kind of person that you really care about the boss or the documents or files of your client, you would just it would be really easily to to like to share those info. But
Mm-mm.
yeah, you have to really maintain that integrity and the professional professional behavior in dealing and handling those files. And yeah, everything that is being confidential to companies files. So that would be my very very like basic things that could keep. And also you have to keep the trust that is being given by you, especially those, especially in us dealing with pay, dealing with collections, payments. So we would really have to make sure that it would also, if you that is would also learn that it would go back to you, like especially you have to, wherever you go, you have to bring that integrity. Because um when dealing with numbers is like it's a trust that's being given by your boss or by the owner of the company. So you have to really make sure that you keep those things confidential. And you also have that care for the company, because that is
Yeah.
money that is a hard earned money by the company. So you really have to make sure that you keep that trust and have that integrity. So yeah, that's from me.
We therefore conclude that accountants, accounting team are, money people who are not attracted to money. I love that. I think no, if you're an accountant or someone from accounting, you should not be easily be attracted by money itself, because integrity will really be lost. Just imagine how much money do they have that they always encounter every day, every week, and still they keep that integrity. So you see, that's why they're my favorite team. I'm not, don't prioritize me, girly, sa ano
Under the table. Huh?
And no, integrity. Girly said
Like,
integrity.
All right, there we go. Lovely, lovely. Lots of what you call this. Lots of golden nuggets here. You know, the things basically, how it is in the virtual world when it comes to say, being an accountant per se, or like maybe being in the financial field, right? These are pretty much the things that you will be encountering there. You're gonna be having, and at the same time, with one or two, a couple of the differences there, which are number one, you're going to be having online tools, right? So you kind of have to have the know-how somehow by going to YouTube, right? What is Zero? What is QuickBooks? And what are these things? Can I get a certification from there? Right? You at least try to learn these new things, equip yourself with these tools. And at the same time, you got to be used to like, okay, you don't have much paper in your desk anymore because everything is in your browser, it's in your email, it's in your accounts, right? You got to be used to like, how do I use my browser? What is this Google
Yeah.
account, right? Where is this Google Drive? You got to familiarize yourself with that. And on top of that, of course, as always, right, being very good at communicating. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. Nobody's perfect in the world, okay? But you have to know how to communicate. Why? It's like one of the amazing things that Miss Gurley mentioned, because your clients literally is like somewhere maybe half across the world, right? You are working at home and you have a setup like that, and of course, you got to know at least the norm of how they talk. But as well, at the same time, it's a different story when you're talking numbers with them, like what Miss Gurley was saying, right? You got to be able to describe in a chronological order and so on, right? But yeah, you're doing a job that you love and you're able to do it online, right? And that is something really amazing, right? For people out there, right? You're an accountant, you're a bookkeeper, you're in the financial field. Gosh, by golly, by all means, people, you can work as a virtual assistant. Yeah, there are a lot of people in the financial field working at home, not getting stuck in unpaid traffic, maybe just having some Krispy Kreme coffee on the side and whatnot. And yeah, being with their family as well, right? So if you are wondering, maybe, could I enter the virtual world as an accountant, as a bookkeeper? That's one big YES. Yes, you can, right? You just got to check things out, see things out, check agencies out there if there are, or you try some like short-term project-based kind of stuff. Whatever it may be, definitely you can be in the virtual world. Maybe this is, you watching this video is the sign that you are, you will be part of a virtual world as well and enjoy the same perks. So last but not the least, I received like some messages here, and one of our viewers actually also got to be highlighted here. One burning question, Miss Gurley.
Yeah,
What's your
final word.
advice? Yes. What is your advice to aspiring VAs, especially in accounting?
Hi. Yeah, so for those aspiring ones, so I would say that um you're even doing accounting in the virtual world, it's different kind of level. It's also upskilling yourself as an accountant or being a accounting professional. So we would explore um like tools or that would really help you, especially if you are meeting with deadlines. I would share that I really love Asana because it really helped
Oh,
the team for us to really reminded that this day is our deadline, this week should be our focus. This time, especially the time, or specifically time frame that we will release this bonus or release this pay. So you would really learn a lot, like aside from if you were not using Asana or other tools, you would uh you would see that um you could do accounting in a different way, especially like it is paperless, and also virtually, that you could serve um accounting skills not just locally, but you could serve those companies internationally. And yeah, and I would also say that you should also choose what kind of somehow in accounting there's a different part, like taxation. We also have like in the purely in the accounting, like in the operational accounting. So with also some are like manager accounting. You would really learn a lot of things. And being in the VA world also, I could also say that you could get pay more. You can get paid
wow.
more when you're being a VA.
Drop the
And
numbers,
also
drop the numbers.
I
in
think
my
that's the
experience,
most important.
like, yeah, the pay is somehow different, especially if you could really build a lot of like you have a lot of things to really serve in accounting to your international client. Like you could also do tax preparation, you could also do um the the finalization of books, like somehow you would really get paid more if you're being a virtual accountant, that I could see. So somehow and also being in the comfort of your home, you could be if somehow if you would really do overtime, you're still safe, not
Wow.
not in the risk of having that going at home at late at night, or even at dawn if in the Philippine time. So Yeah, so you really have to try if you're that still now doing that traditional or you're working in the corporate world. So somehow being in the virtual accounting is really really different. And also I would also appreciate that you would encounter clients that have that different culture, or they have that some kind of attitude that is different from Filipino bosses, or like, when you encounter Australian or like US clients. So somehow you would really learn also from them how they would deal things, especially if managing finances. So yeah, that's a lot of learnings that I could say. So yeah, so happy bookkeeping or happy accounting in a virtual world, if you would,
I love that.
it would
Thank you
really
so
know.
much. Amazing, amazing, amazing advices from Girly. So, I think one more thing that I have to add, you also need to be ready, really be prepared, because like Girly, one of her challenges is to do podcasting. Suddenly being a guest for a live stream podcast. So it's definitely a challenge for her now. Surprise. But yeah, kidding aside, thank you so much, girly. It's been a very fun live stream today. Because of you, I know our viewers really love the things that they heard from you. And she was saying earlier that she's so shy, she's so scared. But look at her. I mean, we're talking, we're texting or we're chatting here behind the scenes. We're talking that she can actually do this on a weekly basis already, girly, because we're so amazed by you. We love it. And thank you, Miss Mo. Yeah, hi, Miss Mo. She's here. She cannot attend today, but thank you for watching us. Well, Guardian Angel watching. Thank you, Miss Mo. Yeah, I love my suit today. So yeah, happy accounting, happy bookkeeping, and of course, the most important is the pay is amazing as girly.
Yes, yes. All right, there we go, guys. Once again, a good and happy weekend. Amazing accounting days for everybody here. And yes, Miss Gurley, thank you very much for sharing all the stories, the insights that you have gave. And I think, a lot of people out there will be inspired to join the virtual world. After all, the pay is better, for many things. So yeah, okay. Now, all righty, guys. So that's it. Happy weekend. See you guys when we see you on the next episode. Tune in. Go Super VA. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you
Jack
so
and girly.
much.